the law of Paticca the will of the samsara. Paticca anuloma. Anuloma means in Pali, avijja, paccaya, sankhara, and so on. And then padiloma, reverse order, avijja, yataveva, asesa, something like that. Okay, there are two roots, there is avijja and tanha. There are two noble truths, samudaya satya and dukkha satya. And then they're divided into 4 divisions. 4, there are 12 factors. And then 5, there are 3 connections. And then there are 3 rounds. 7, 3 periods of time. And then finally, there are 20 modes. Okay, there are 20 modes. The diagram itself, it's just the wheel of the samsara, which means the wheel of cycle of life and birth, right? Countless of life and birth, because we have been born and died again and again in this samsara, right? In this universe. That's why it is called as the cycle of life, because we born and then we die. After dying, we born again. If we have not removed the root of rebirth, then for sure we have to be born again and again. And being born is indeed suffering, because we have to experience all kinds of unsatisfactoriness, unpleasant things, you know, facing a lot of obstacles and troubles. Nobody can avoid that, right? All of us, regardless of whatsoever, Cambodian, American, rich or poor, monk or lay, you know, we all have to experience all the problem in this samsara. Okay, so the first 12 links is very necessary for all of us to go forward. We should start from here. So let me show this one, it's better. Right, so we start in the direct order we call Anuloma, because in the theory of Paticca, the Buddha expounded in 2 ways, in 2 meanings. That is Anuloma, direct order, and Padiloma, reverse order. Okay, so in direct order, we see that from ignorance, conditions or gives rise to mental formation, right? Volitional activities, or in short, karma, right? From ignorance give rise to karma formations. From karma formations give rise to consciousness, right? To consciousness. From consciousness gives rise to mentality and materiality, or mind and matter. From mind and matter gives rise to sixfold sense bases, sixfold sense base, or 6 senses. From 6 senses gives rise to contact. From contact gives rise to craving. From craving gives rise to clinging. From clinging gives rise to existence. From existence gives rise to birth. From birth gives rise to old age, sickness, and death. Round and round, you see. After we get old, sick, and then die, again we born again because of avijja, ignorance. It comes again to the next and next factors. Altogether are 12 factors. Okay, this is very important to remember the technical terms either in Pali or in English. It's kind of a little bit deep for all of you if you have no foundation about that. So I won't go much deep, just a bit information for you to understand that why the round of samsara keeps moving forward like this. Because all of these factors that condition one another to arise, right? Without an end, if we don't put an end to the root, then it just keep rotating. That's why it is important to understand all the root and factors and links, connection of this diagram, so we will find a way to break the wheel. And on the other hand, with the reverse order, the reverse order, which means if you can put an end to avijja, right? If you can remove ignorance, and then the next condition will cease, will automatically passes, right? Will automatically vanish. No more conditioning, because you break avijja, then it will not lead to sankhara, which means avijja ceases, sankhara also ceases. Ceases means vanish. When avijja or ignorance ceases, sankhara also ceases. When sankhara ceases, vijnana also ceases. Like that, on and on, on and on. You know, this is the same way, similarly with the direct order. Direct order, just avijja give rise to sankhara, sankhara give rise to vijnana. But in reverse order, when avijja ceases, sankhara also ceases. Sankhara ceases, vijnana also ceases. So you will see, when vijnana ceases, nama rupa ceases until the end, all the 12 factors. When feeling ceases, tanha, craving also ceases. When tanha ceases, upadana ceases. Bhava ceases, jati ceases. When jati ceases, jara marana also ceases, right? In a simple idea, when there is no avijja, no sankhara, right? When no sankhara, no vijnana, then there will be no nama rupa. When there is no nama rupa, there is no salayatana. When there is no salayatana, there is no phassa. No phassa, there is no vedana. When there is no vedana, there is no danha. When there is no danha, no padana, no bhava, no jati, no jara marana. This is the whole idea. Okay, so let's goes back to the chart here. Okay, now let's go to the first one. There are two roots in this samsara chak. Okay, the wheel of samsara vada, because the wheel of samsara means the wheel of life and death. When there is life and death, there is suffering. Again, we can say in short that this is the cycle of suffering. So here we see that these two guys are the big boss behind all kinds of suffering. If we can remove them, we will find a complete liberation from all kinds of suffering. Okay. So you have to remove ignorance and tanha. For example, how are we to remove them? By developing wisdom, we will automatically remove avijja, right? So we have to develop wisdom through learning, through listening, through practicing the Dharma, meditation, and so on. That way we can accumulate more wisdom, and so avijja, ignorance, decreases down and down. And again, like tanha, we know that the cause of tanha is from the feeling, right? When there is a feeling, the feeling condition tanha, right? This condition craving. So if you want to put an end to tanha, you must remove this one. You must remove the feeling. But how are you to remove the feeling? Because we live in the world and we experience all kinds of feeling, sadness, happiness, sorrow, pleasant, and feeling unpleasant, something like that. By removing means you'll have to learn the way to control your mind, to control your feeling, the way you behave, the way you act, you know, the way you feel. You have to learn to do it professionally, right? According to the Dharma. So you know how to put an end to these two guys, big bosses, okay? Avijja and Tanha.